What is happening, my people? This is Tim Dodd with the Tim Dodd Show, and I have a question for you. Do you know the right questions to ask a sales rep when you're interviewing them to separate the closer from the poser? You see, I was talking to a CEO the other day, and he said, I basically have to hire 5 sales reps just to know that 3, 4, 5 months down the line, at least 1 or 2 of them is gonna work out. Now, you might be saying like, shoot, if I could get 1 or 2 great sales reps out of every 5 hires, I'd be a lucky person. Well, whatever your case is, you don't have to go down that road, because if you ask the right questions, you can separate the closer from the poser. You see, it's the quality of your questions that determine the quality of your results. What does that mean? Simply put, there is a nearly unlimited supply of good salespeople, but to get them, you must attract them, and then you must be able to distinguish in the interview between the closer and the poser, because the poser is going from interview to job to interview to job because they're not doing well in their role. But guess what they get really good at? They get really good at interviewing because they get a lot of practice. You see what I'm saying? So we need to ask the right questions to separate that closer from that poser. So grab your pen and paper, get ready to take some serious notes, because I'm gonna give you 7 key questions, or I call my 7 core questions, that you're gonna use in the interview to make the closers excited and pop out and come alive, and make the posers squirm in their seats, right? And that's what we want. But before I do that, make sure to subscribe and click that bell, so every time I drop a new video that's gonna help you, you're the first to know. My mission is to end entrepreneurial poverty by flooding great businesses with dream clients. So I need you to be successful, and that's why I created this channel. Also, make sure to stay to the end of this video, because I do have a bonus training for you at the end. It's gonna really help you grow and scale. Now, the first key to all of this process is that you need to attract the right people into your organization. And I'm not gonna get into detail here because I have it in some of my other videos, but you need to have a job description that attracts closers, meaning you have to have a vision and a picture so big and massive that a closer that's looking to make $1 million a year in commissions can see your organization and go, holy smokes, I think all of my personal and professional and financial dreams could be met within this company. So make sure that you have a job description that's attracting the right people. Once you have a job description that's attracting the right kind of people, you're in the interview. Here's the 7 questions that's gonna make the closers shine and get excited and stick out and make the posers squirm in their seats. So I'm gonna ask all these questions below, so make sure to write them down, but I'm gonna ask them in the format as if interviewing somebody for a PIMA sales role. So question number 1 I'm gonna ask is, hey, so what attracted you to PIMA, and what is it about the opportunity that you liked? 2 things that this is gonna do. Number 1 is it's gonna show you how much homework they actually did on the company. Why is that important? Well, it's gonna show you how much homework they're gonna do when they're doing outreach and when they're doing sales calls, because you don't want somebody that's just showing up to a sales call without any work being done and just looking like a doofus. You wanna make sure that they're smart about preparing for sales calls, and if they can't prepare for this sales call, which is their job interview, they're not gonna prepare for sales calls when they work for your company. Question number 2, you should ask them, how much money do you want to be making a year from now? And when they answer, hopefully they answer, if they say, I don't know, at least six figures, then you're kind of go, okay, this is not a closer. You're looking for somebody that has a more specific vision and goal. What I'm gonna do from there is I'm gonna ask them why. Why is that important? Somebody tells me, hey, I want to be making $200,000. Great, I'd love to see you do that. Why is $200,000 important to you? Well, it'd just be nice to make that money. Okay, dig deep, guys, dig deep. Well, what's nice about it? Like, what would that do for your life? Well, we'd be able to put our kids in private school. Oh, awesome, private school. You and your wife have been talking about this? Yeah, we've been talking about this. How long have you been talking about it for? Oh, 4 or 5 years now. Okay, so it'd help you get your kids into private school, and you guys have been talking about this 4 or 5 years. Wow, that's incredible. What else would this do for you? Well, I do like to travel every now and then, and this would allow us to travel. Oh, you like to travel? Okay, awesome. Where do you guys want to travel? Oh, well, we've always wanted to go to Europe, and we haven't made it to Europe. Oh, how long have you guys been talking about that? Well, I've been dreaming about that my whole life. My wife and I have been talking about it probably the last 2 or 3 years. Wow, okay, so what you're doing is you're digging really deep here. Why is that important? Well, because the deeper their why, the deeper their motivation, the more successful they're gonna be, because sales has ups and downs. It's a very, very difficult business to be in. And if you can motivate them through this ups and downs with a strong why, you're gonna carry them through the ups and downs. It's gonna allow you to coach them. It's gonna allow you to motivate them on their bad days. And ultimately, they're gonna be driven to succeed because they have big goals in their life. So it's a very, very important question to ask. It's gonna separate a closer from a poser. Question number 3. What was the sales KPIs in your last role and how did you perform against those numbers? They're gonna kind of squirm around if they don't know. It's gonna maybe tell you whether they're sophisticated or not, both with sales KPIs and with the whole sales process. It's also gonna tell you how well they actually did in their last role. And that's very important. Like if they don't know what sales KPIs are and they don't know how well they performed, they might not have had much accountability at the last role, which could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. So it's not a big indicator, but it at least allows you to know where they're at in the sophistication of a sales process. Question number 4, and I love this one. What you're gonna do is you're gonna say, when I talk to your manager, how are they gonna tell me you performed against the other sales reps? 2 things that this question is gonna do is number 1, it's indicating that you're actually gonna call their old sales manager. So whatever answer they give, it better line up with what they're gonna say, right? So this is actually gonna get a very, very honest answer out of them. And this is gonna separate that closer from the poser. Like if they're a closer, they're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna tell you I was the best. They're gonna tell you that I was top 5% every month over month. And if it's a poser, they're gonna, oh, well, you know, it's hard to say. You know, it's blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? These questions are gonna start getting that closer to shine and that poser to squirm in their seat. Question number 5, and I love this one. Man, this is gonna really separate amateurs from the pros right here. And you're gonna ask, so what are your 5 favorite sales books and what's the most recent sales book you read? Because you see most sales reps, even been doing sales for 10, 20 years, they don't read, they've never read. So a true closer is reading. The best of the best closers I know are always developing their skills. So a true closer is gonna get excited about this question. They're like, oh, I love this book and this book and I just read this one. It's not really on sales, but it's on emotional intelligence. So I've been attaching it to sales and it's really helped you're gonna see them come alive. Whereas that squirmer is gonna say, oh, well, I read this one book and a couple companies ago, they brought a trainer and that was really good. I don't really read. I'm not much of a reader. I'm more like to watch TV. You see how these questions are gonna start getting that closer to shine and that poser to start squirming? Question number 6, you're gonna ask them, what is your favorite part of the sales process and what is like your least favorite thing to do? This is gonna do a few things, but it's one that's gonna allow you to understand if they even understand the sales process. So if they're just shooting out BS words, that means that they're that poser that knows how to interview, but they don't actually understand the process. Another thing that can actually do for you is if you are using maybe a different person to set leads, a different person to warm up leads, and a different person to close leads, like if you've segmented those, it's gonna show you where they're gonna fit in that process, so where their strong point is gonna be. Question number 7, what products have you sold to what audiences at what price points? This is gonna really give you an understanding of what they've sold to who and for how much. This is gonna allow you to just kind of get a deeper insight into who they are as sales reps, which is gonna be really important for the role that you're about to place them in. Now, of course, there's gonna be other questions that you ask during the interview, but these core 7 are gonna be a huge separator between the closer and the poser, and that's what we're trying to do with this interview process, is we don't wanna get somebody who's good at interviewing and bad at closing. We wanna get somebody who's good at closing whether or not they're good at interviewing. Because you can have great closers that are not great interviewers, but you can have great interviewers that are shitty closers. And we want to have closers. These questions are gonna do that for you. Now, if you wanna see how to actually get your closers hundreds or if not thousands of sales meetings a month, I do have a free training for you at the end. Before I give that to you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that bell so that when I drop a new video that's gonna help you out, you're the first to know. Now, right below me, you're gonna see a link that's gonna give you the free resource that you need to get, whether you do it in-house or you outsource it, it's gonna show you the exact step-by-step you need to flood your sales team with red hot, ready to buy leads and prospects.